Alright guys, so I'm back on this job on the banks. You've seen this one before, so I'm just cutting this at the moment and decided to stop and have a little bit of a drink. Pardon me, it's man alive, it is sticky here in Ireland today. This isn't product placement, by the way. Oh man alive. Nor is it the healthiest option either, but it does taste pretty darn good. But I had something on my mind that I was going to share with you, and that was just take off my red ears here. That was I was making a video the other day, and I was talking about something, and I made the video and I was going to upload it, and I thought, you know what, there's half of the information there that I really wanted to talk about, and that was becoming the master of your trade. Now, what am I on about? I like old-fashioned things, right? I love technology, I love modern way of life, and there's so many things about modern life that are so beneficial, but there's certain little things, just little things that are from the past that I think we miss out on, and that might, I think it would add to the quality of somebody's life nowadays. So what am I on about? Well, if you take for example about 100 years ago, alright, a guy who was learning a trade to become a carpenter, painter, plasterer, the things that were built back then was so much more skillful than things are today. And by the time that they got to the end of their apprenticeship, which could take about 10 years, from what I remember, going around museums and teaching myself, because I left school when I was 14, so I didn't stay in school long enough to find out this information. I had to teach it to myself. For about 10 years they do their trade, and then at the end of it, then they would get qualified as a master of their trade. And I think that that's something that we kind of could use nowadays. I clean windows, I cut grass, I pressure wash. There's lots of things that I can do within my trades of general cleaning. Ooh. There's heading up the road. Thought somebody was about to pull up in front of me there. Yeah, because I've learned a lot of stuff over the years. I left school when I was 14, and so I've got a fair head start on a lot of guys, and I've learned an awful lot of stuff, and I've retained it up here, and I've put it into practice, and I've tried to perfect some of it. Other parts of the different services that I provide, I am still learning and teaching myself. I can still do a good job, but I probably could learn to do it better over time as well. So you're never too young, or you're never too old to become a student, or to view yourself as a student learning something. Anyway, without talking about me, you know, the point is that I mean, like, with being a window cleaner and being a lawn care guy, I don't have a formal qualification. I don't have this piece of paper that says Master John Ryan, window cleaner, lawn care guy, all that type of stuff. But I think that kind of thing would give people a sense of pride in their work. So although I don't have a piece of paper, my life experience has taught me that I am becoming a master of my trade. How do I mean that? And how have I come to that conclusion? Well, if you think of guys who can pick up a bucket and a mop and a squeegee and go out and try and clean windows, and bucket bobs, as you guys in America call it, anybody can get up and go and try and do these things. The same as anybody could, if they can get access to a lawnmower, they can go out and cut grass and call themselves a lawn care professional. But you and I both know that the proof is in the pudding. If I was to turn up to a building site and said to a foreman, "Oh, I'm a joiner," just because I've got all the tools doesn't mean that I actually am. The result of my work would speak for itself. Whereas if my work didn't have the finish that I professed it would, then the guy would come knocking on my door pretty quickly and saying, "You're not what you said you were." So that's how I separate myself from the likes of somebody who claims to be. So in my other video I was going to ask the question was, can anybody be a window cleaner? Can anybody be a lawn care professional? Well, you can say you are, for one. Anybody can claim it, but the proof would be in the result of your work. So how then do you go and teach yourself to become the master of your trade? Well, I've talked about, now like I say, I'm not saying I'm the master of some things and I'm still learning a lot of things, and as time goes on I still view myself as the student, if you want, on a lot of things, but I'm gaining experience all the way along. And that's after quite a long time in the game as well. But so where am I going with this? So if you're starting out your business, or you're getting bored of your business, now I've touched on this subject before about investing in yourself, investing in your skill. So we can all, perhaps the guys who are watching these videos, you guys, you can all relate to the fact that you can do some sort of some kind of work, whether it's even if you don't have your own business. You understand what I'm saying about being able to do stuff around the house, whether it's cutting the grass, whether it's cleaning the windows, whether you're very good at DIY around the house, pardon me, is that you can teach yourself to become skilled at what you do. So that's developing and honing in on the technical side of your craft. And then on the other side, then you've got the business, the academic side. And there's so much there that you can learn and teach yourself. If I give you an example, right, of how going above and beyond and being more than what you say you are. There's a service station around the corner from my house that closed down last October, so 10 months ago, and the grass hasn't been cut all year, and so now they've reinvested in it. Somebody bought over the property, has opened it up, and has somebody come around and cut the grass. Now this is a company that I've seen, and they are I've seen them around town. They have a nice van, they have good signage, they have good uniforms, and they have good equipment. And they turned up to do this job the first day, because I was driving back and forth in the area and seen them cut the grass with 2 lawnmowers. Now this is flipping stuff way up here. You know, I didn't think the lawnmowers were even like, look, I'm not the master of being a lawn care professional. I'm getting there, but I'm not I wouldn't view myself as a master of the trade just yet, or my skill. But even I was looking at this going, do you know what, wouldn't you be better with a brush cutter? Because it was all on a bank as well. Not as steep as this thing here. I mean, you can see, look, if I'm sitting upright, that's how steep this bank is. Looks a lot less steep down there where I had the camera the last day, but it's a back-breaking job, this. Anyway, so I would have thought that a lawnmower wasn't the best machinery to be using to cut down the grass. Brush cutter or something like that would have been better. But no, they did it anyway, and they cut the grass. They didn't bag the grass, they didn't edge the grass, and they didn't blow down any of the area at all. So even now, and this is about a month later, the grass, the dead grass that was cut the first time round, is all around the drive, all around the road part of this service station. It's all in clumps on the grass itself. Now I know that the first time I do a job, it's not going to be a pretty job, but you can still take pride and make it neat and tidy. Anyway, company hasn't been back since. They haven't bagged it. I'm sure we'll see soon enough now whether this month at any stage, and we'll see in the next week or so if they come back and cut the grass again, or if they come back next month, because I'm quite eager to see, you know, whether the person who owns this new property is actually even happy with the job that it's done. I wouldn't be, but they looked the part, but they didn't prove themselves in the effort that they put in. That's in my opinion, and I'm not going to name them because I wouldn't want to slate anybody on this channel. So the point of becoming the master of your trade is being more than just a pretty picture. It's developing on the side of things that really, really matter. See, that company might have had the right marketing, they might have had the right, the presentation and how they looked when they gave the quotation and all that. They might be good at the marketing aspect of their business, but the business model itself is let down because of the lack of the technical craft being a really good one. So maybe they're good, maybe they're having an off day, who knows, right? But you're getting the idea of what I'm saying. It's more than just how you appear in business. So for you new guys who are starting out your business, these are just little tips, something to think about, that as time goes on, take the time to invest in yourself. You may not have to do a 10-year apprenticeship like years ago. There is no even now, there is no apprenticeship for lawn care or window cleaning. But does that mean that you shouldn't take the time to learn your trade, to develop and hone in on your skills? I've noticed that there's an awful lot of different types of methods of window cleaning. There's guys who use Sorbo, Unger, wagtails, Mormons, liquidator, squeegees. All these are different types of squeegees, and different guys like different types of methods and whatever. And some of those methods might be beneficial to you in one area that maybe not so beneficial in another area. But can you develop your skill to know what tools are the best overall to make yourself efficient? Pardon me. From what I can gather, teaching myself, there is no one squeegee that does it all. And you guys know that if you're starting your own lawn care business, look at my equipment. You see my video on my lawn care equipment. Some of it is definitely not the right equipment, but it is a starting point to grow the business. It is a part of my business. I can't invest in it yet, but I'm hoping to pretty soon. Things are picking up, and the more things that pick up, then the more hopefully I can invest in my business, and then I can try and start to focus on getting the right kind of equipment. But the equipment that I have does me now to get me through this phase, and then I will evolve into the next phase and onto the next and the next and the next. So that as time goes by, the more time and effort I invest in myself and my business, the more I am becoming the master of my trade. And although I might not have a piece of paper to say it, I'll know it up here, I'll know it in here, that the time and effort that I put into is that is what I'm doing. I'm making myself an expert in my field. Of course, not everyone's going to think you're an expert, but sure, that's because haters are going to hate. We've all seen those guys. Some people just love to be critical, but we don't care about them. Are you thinking about them when you're lying in bed at night? No, they ain't thinking of you. So don't worry about anybody who'll criticize you for this, that or the other. As long as you're happy with the way things are going and you're happy to invest in yourself and progress, never stand still. The only fish that stands still in the water is a dead fish. Do you want to be the dead fish? You got to constantly fight that current up the stream. When you come to one obstacle, it could be a small waterfall. What do the fish do? They jump up. They don't always make it the first time, but they'll try again, maybe at a different angle, get a better run at it. That could be you. Don't be thinking that everything will just work out fine and dandy on the first go. It will take time. Be patient, and eventually it will all come good in the end. As long as your heart's in the right place and you're doing what you have to do, and you're progressing, you're moving forward, well, then you're not moving back, are you? Then you're not standing still. So how can that be a bad thing? Alright guys, hopefully this was encouraging. Hopefully you can see yourself as the master of your trade. If you can't, can you see yourself becoming one? I'm sure you can. I can see it. There's a lot of guys on YouTube that both comment and make videos that are masters of their trade, and they're very humble and they don't profess to be, but yet I can see that they are. So I'm sure you are as well. That's watching. You're well on your way to becoming the master. Maybe you're the master in some areas, and you'll become the master in others. Same as me. Sure, we're all doing what we can. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.